Okay, so in today's video, we're going to again write the equation of a parabola based on its graph, and we're also going to compare different representations of parabolas to know which one has the steepest or widest graph. So for this example, you'll see that we have this purple parabola over here on the right side of your screen. Which way does it open? That should be the easiest question to answer. It opens down, I can see that. Does it have a y-intercept? Well, it looks like it does. I'm not quite sure where it is. I can guess. I could speculate that maybe it's 1.5. So I'll put 0, 1.5. But I'm going to put a question mark there because I'm not quite sure if that's exactly right. That will remind me to go back and check when I'm done to make sure that my C value of my equation is actually 1.5. Let's look for the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry passes through this vertex. It looks like that vertex is going to be at 1, 2. And so my axis of symmetry is whatever the x value was, which is x equals 1. All right. It asks now for the x-intercepts. Do I have x-intercepts? It looks like I do at -1 and +3. So my x-intercepts would be -1, 0, and +3, 0. Now to get what the factors would be, I have to use this y equals a times x minus x minus. I have to subtract those two x-intercepts into the equation. So I'm going to put that -1 into my factor. I'm going to put the +3 into the other factor. And now, if I do my math, I can just distribute negative times negative makes it positive. So y equals a times x plus 1 and x minus 3. So now I need to find out what this a value is. To find out what that a value is, I'm going to use that vertex point. I'm going to use that vertex point right here, 1, 2. I'm going to use x is 1 and y is 2, so I'll put 2 is equal to a times, and then x was 1 plus 1, and 1 minus 3. Okay, I get 2 equals, and that's a times 2. 1 minus 3 is -2. And then I will get another equation that's going to be 2 equals 2 times -2 is -4. Don't skip any steps here because a lot of people make mistakes. They divide by the wrong number, or when they divide, they get the wrong answer. My answer for a in this equation is going to be -1/2. In other words, -0.5. Now, I'll write that up here, -0.5. Now, to get the actual standard form equation, I need to start multiplying this stuff all back out again. Y equals -0.5 times x plus 1, x minus 3. So I'm going to FOIL and do a first product. First times first. X times x. You give me x squared. I'm going to do the outside product now, which is going to be x times -3. -3x. I'm going to do the inside product now, which is 1 times x. Then I'm going to do the final last product and get -3. And don't forget that I have that -0.5 out in front. So I have y equals -0.5 times x squared. Looks like -3 plus 1 is -2x. Then minus 3. And don't forget to distribute. I need to multiply this -1/2 times all my numbers here. So I get y equals -0.5 x squared plus x plus 1.5. And there's my answer after I distribute that -0.5 to the x squared, to the -2, and negative times the negative makes it positive. Negative times the negative makes it positive as well. Now let's check. Was my C value 1.5 for my y-intercept? It sure was, so that's correct. So I'll go back up there and check. We're good to go. Now the next thing I want to do is compare which graph is the steepest. And to be steeper, in other words, I want to be farthest from 0. Farthest from 0. Okay? So I want a to be farthest from 0. So a value farthest from 0. Sorry, I didn't specify that. I want the a value to be farthest from 0. Well, how do I determine the a value? Well, in this one, you can see that I have a table of x and y values, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. It says the y is 2, 1/2, 0, 1/2, 2. What is it normally? Normally we square it and get 4, 1, 0, 1, and 4. So 4 times a equals 2. Because in order to get to this one, it's actually 8 times y. So to get the a value, you must divide by 4. What does a have to be? It's 0.5 or 1/2. So that is pretty close to 0. So right away I can think that a is probably not going to be the steepest one. Let's look at b. What's my a value? Well, A is 1, so obviously B is going to be steeper than A, because A's value in letter A, I should say, it's kind of bad to use the same letters, but you could say that B is going to be steeper because it's farther away from 0. If I draw a number line, let's say these are my A values, I have 1 and -1. Letter A is right at this 1/2 mark, so I'm pretty close to 0. That's A. Letter B, I'll do in red, that's at exactly 1, so I'm getting a little farther away from 0. Now let's look at C. Well, the C value, typically I would go 1 over 1 up. But instead of going 1 over 1 up, I went 1 over down 3. So my A value then is -3 for letter C, which means that I'm all the way over here, which is the farthest away from 0. So my answer is that letter C is the steepest graph in this set. I'm looking for the A value that's farthest away from 0. And finally, this is actually number 5. Let's go through and look at this one. What's the A value in letter A? Well, in this case, it's easy to see. It's 2. So right away, if I'm doing my comparison, here's 0, here's +1, here's -1. Letter A, I'm going to say right here, letter A is that +2. So far, it's a candidate for being the steepest one. Look at this function. If I find the vertex, if I go 1 over, I go 1 up, 2 over, 4 up. So it looks like my graph is standard. My A value in this graph is probably 1. Because if I made a table, x, and then it would be -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, 4, 1, 0, 1, and 4. And my n value, I went 1 over, 1 up again. I went 2 over, 4 up, 1 over to the left, I went 1 up again, 0, 0, and then 1 over, 1 up. It looks like I have the same graph, so A is 1. So then in letter B, which I'm going to say this one, letter B was exactly at 1. So far A is winning the battle. Let's check the table. Now typically the table would be 4, 1, 0, 1, 4. What does A value have to be to get to 12? I had to multiply by 3, so A is 3. So it looks like since the C value, letter option C had the A value of 3, that C is the steepest one again. Okay, that's all this video has for tonight. I hope you have a great evening.